Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week on the upper tier. If you could head out there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video because the algorithm on YouTube is not our friend. This is your match reaction. Liverpool 1, Fulham 0. The goal coming in the 39th minute, a penalty from Mo Salah, blasted up the middle again. Uh, After good work from Darwin stealing the ball and winning the penalty in the box. But yeah, kind of I don't know. I did say on the preview, I thought that we'd have to be patient in this game for our opportunities to come. That Fulham are very well drilled under Marco Silva this season, and very organised. Don't give a lot away. I know as of late they've been on a bad run, but if you look at the results and stuff like that, Stead in the game with Man City the other day at 2-1. Same in the previous game against Aston Villa 1-0, us winning 1-0 tonight with a penalty. So it just goes to show how organised Fulham are, and how workmanlike, how they work hard for each other as a team under Marco Silva. Doing an excellent job there with Fulham this season, even though they've fallen away slightly in the last few weeks. But up till then, they've been very good. This was kind of it was an interesting one as well, insofar as a lot of our play was really good up until that final third. But then in that final third, a lot of wasteful passing, a lot of kind of maybe too much passing in terms of our intricate type of play in the opposition's box, when we should be really maybe pulling the trigger. I said from time to time that I would love to see our forward players just being that bit more greedy at times when they get the ball in the final third. Tend to pick up the ball and they're turn back into danger, or trying to play that little sneaky kind of pass and stuff like that in terms of link up play. Whereas when there's an opportunity there to pull the trigger, you should just pull the trigger on it and shoot, and it might reap better rewards. Tight game, coughed up a few chances to Fulham, of course. Allison cropping up at least twice with two really good saves. As we edge towards the end of the season now, it's very clear that he's going to be comfortably our player of the season. I think Trent again tonight got man of the match. His forward play is unbelievable in midfield and stuff like that. Just a little bit of a thought that the more he pushes into midfield, leaves Konate a little bit exposed, but he's gradually coming around to dealing with it. Better performance from Konate tonight compared to the other day. But Trent in midfield, his eye for a pass, and the way he sees football at a different level to a lot of players in his position. He's able to see that switch pass out to the left corner. He's able to play the balls up the channels and stuff like that. So much so that it's getting to a stage now where he's beginning to think on a level nearly higher than some of the players around him. You could see his frustration with Darwin when he played that pass through the middle, and Darwin just kind of turned his back on it, didn't see it. Now, I think he was offside anyway, but Trent getting really frustrated because the build up to that movement was unbelievable. And then when he shot that pass through, it was definitely worthy of a goal if Darwin hadn't been offside. But Trent at the moment, he's just different gravy. I don't know what's happened there in the last month or so, but he just looks like a totally different player, playing absolutely fantastic at the moment. Curtis Jones had a good outing again tonight as well, really bringing the energy again. Curtis, I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether Klopp has brought some of these guys into the room and said, you're playing for your squad position here. You're playing for your place on the team next season. But whatever's happened, Curtis has upped his game big time as well. He was diving in with the press, bypassing the front players and stuff like that. Same with Hendo, as when Hendo did it a few times, and they were sort of balancing it as well in a tandem of that kind of one went and one stayed, or the other one, and they were switching it and stuff like that. Jordan again didn't have the best outing tonight. His work and his endeavour is really good, but again, a number of times where he could pick a forward pass, he doesn't, but he did it a bit more tonight, which I was glad to see. He was looking a bit more positive, forward thinking in his play tonight, which was a little bit better. Played a few nice passes through. Mo was kind of off it tonight. Mo, I thought he was just a little bit his passing and his link up isn't what it normally is. A couple of times he cut to the byline, and he had one opportunity where he tried to score, but Darwin was there ready to be picked out. Just picked the wrong choice, unfortunately. But yeah, it was just one of those games where we had to sit. And the thing about it is, I don't really I don't really mind us winning 1-0. I kind of like winning 1-0 at times because I do like the clean sheets as well. I don't like it when we cough up a number of chances to Fulham. They did have a number of chances, as we said. Allison tonight sort of, holding that clean sheet in order for us to get the 3 points, which is really, really important. It means the gap to United now in terms of the fourth spot is down to 4 points. We have Brentford at Anfield at 5:30 on Saturday. United have a tricky away trip to Brighton tomorrow night, and then a tricky away trip to West Ham, I think it is, at the weekend. So who knows, by the end of the weekend, if results went the right way for us, there could be a point in it. And that would be really, really tasty then in terms of the top four. And who knows, we've gone on these journeys before where we thought top four was way out of our sight, and the next minute we're in the midst of it. So we'll hold onto that little bit of hope still at the moment. We are running out of games really, really quickly, so we need something to happen tomorrow night and Sunday in the United games in order for us to have any chance of going for this top four. But all we can do is control what we can control. So we keep on pushing forward, getting the 3 points. 5 on the bounce now, absolutely unbelievable, showing great form. And 2 draws before that as well. So it's really, really good at the moment. The play is kind of solid. We are kind of kicking up a little few chances for teams and stuff like that. But so long as we keep on grinding out the results, I mean, it is coming to the end of the season. It's been a long season for this team. It's been a poor season by their standards. So we just got to keep it kicking forward. Substitutions cost us tonight, kind of, again, looking really, really, really rusty, like he hasn't played, and he hasn't. So, like, he's coming in to deputise for Andy Robinson. Obviously, Andy didn't have a great showing there midweek. Not midweek, at the weekend, I should say. So Costas came in to change it up a little bit tonight. But doesn't seem to be grasping his opportunity as much as he did in the past. Seems fairly off the play and stuff like that. At times, Van Dijk having to do a lot of work in there in terms of keeping him with it. So I got subbed off for Andy Robinson in the 66th minute. Luis Diaz came off in the 66th minute as well. Cody Gakpo came on, and then Cody again picking up the ball, free running, winning free kicks, playing balls through. Had a couple of sort of half opportunities as well. Again, Cody constantly developing all the time. Again, I love when he drops deep, picks up the ball and runs at midfields and runs at defences and stuff like that. They just don't know how to deal with the lads. So really, really good. Darwin went off on 83 for Diogo Jota. Mo went off on 84 for Harvey Elliott. Harvey came on. Harvey coming on doing a few bits. We did say in the preview that this game might set up nicely for Harvey because it's kind of more of a trickier technical kind of game. So it might have suited Harvey's style. But came on, did a few bits, not too bad. Curtis Jones went off on 84 for James Milner, just shutting up shop really at that stage. 6 minutes to go, 1-0 up. But it was nice to roll out and win. Get the 3 points on the board, cut the gap to 4 against United, even though they've 2 games in hand. Let's see how the games play out between now and the weekend. And we'll know by the end of the weekend where the top 4 race really lies, because these are 2 tricky games for United now. Brighton away, never an easy place to go, and West Ham away, never an easy place to go. West Ham getting beaten tonight as well, 3-0 by Man City. Haaland breaking another record. So West Ham still under a bit of pressure there to put points on the board in terms of this relegation battle. I'm sure they'd like to put a win on the board at the weekend against United, get the 3 points and be more comfortable going back into Europe for those semi-finals of the Europa Conference. So let's see how it pans out. Let's take a look at player ratings before I get into them. Just take a few comments. Hi, how are you, Henry? Yeah, real good win, absolutely. Ladies lost 2-1 tonight after scoring first through Covisto. But we have more injuries. Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it tonight as well, Hendo picking up a bit of an injury, but it looks like he should be all right. He was able to finish it out, so shouldn't be too bad for Hendo either. So we roll on to the big game, 5:30 against Brentford, and that's going to be a tough game. And let's see how that goes. I mean, we just look, if we cough up the chances that we coughed up tonight to Fulham, Brentford have a bit more quality up front there. Obviously, Fulham losing Mitrovic. But Brentford have a bit more quality. If those opportunities fall to a Tony or an Mbeumo or those guys, they will take advantage and they will score. So we need to be really, really careful and more at it at the weekend. So let's see how it rolls out. Let's take these player ratings. Alisson, I give an 8-2 tonight. 2 absolutely brilliant saves to keep the points at home. 3 points absolutely vital in the top 4 race, because any slip now and we're done. That's it basically. Henry's in the comments. I'm okay. Okay, Niall, kind of good man. That's what I want to hear. Hope your streams are going well, Henry. Seeing them, they're going up there all the time. So keep it going. Yeah, Alisson, as we said, already in there for a player of the season, no doubt about it in terms of what's happened. But certainly a huge improvement across the board in the last 6-7 weeks. Trent in 8, man of the match, no doubt about it. Unbelievable performance again. As I said, his vision on his peripheral vision in terms of picking out a play and seeing how in that position now, seeing how that movement works and stuff like that and all, and the way he can eye a pass and see the way the game is unfolding around him now in that position, as opposed to being down in that right area or out wide. Now that he's in the middle, he can see the whole gamut, if you like, of the match unfolding in front of him, and he knows kind of where the movement is going. So brilliant from Trent tonight. Give him an 8. EB will give a 7-2 tonight. Much better tonight. Starting to get a bit more comfortable in terms of where he is on the pitch, more in a kind of a back 3 than a back 4. Especially with Trent moving into that position, there does be space there. So he's having to cover a wider kind of space, and it's just taking a bit of an adjustment. Big up Henry, almost 120 subs. Absolutely, folks. If you get a chance, go over and sub Henry's channel, of course. Drop the love on Henry's channel, the subs there. Almost on 120 subs, doing some great stuff there at the moment, and some really good stuff to come. Van Dijk. Again, with Virgil, we're just not seeing what I did like tonight, and we've spoke about actually, first of all, in a number of streams, I have spoken about how he's not vocal enough at the back and all that kind of thing. But I need him to be more vocal, and he was tonight. He was talking more to his back line. There was more coaching there. He was getting more and more involved, and that's what I want to see from Virgil. But he still just seems way off where he was. Even when the team is performing, if you look over the last number of performances, he's still there, not kind of performing at the level of Virgil van Dijk that we expect. But we're hoping next season he's going to come back and be that better Virgil van Dijk that we know. Did make a key clearance, of course, to prevent a goal. Was generally solid, but just at times it's just, I don't know whether it's the body movement or the laid back approach or whatever it is, just for me at times puts the fear of God in me. So 7 for Virgil. Costas, I gave a 6-2. We spoke about him already. He just looks really, really rusty. He's not playing, so very difficult to come into that position as well, especially that position that him and Robbo take up, because it's so energetic, requires a lot of movement and a lot of cleverness and all that kind of stuff. So really, really need Costas. I don't know, maybe the gaffer should be giving them more time. If we're doing this squad assessment, as we spoke about on the shows, maybe Costas needs more of a run in the team and stuff like that. But with still having one card or half a foot inside that door of the top 4 still, it's hard to kind of risk things on that and stuff like that. But Costas today, he was kind of off it again and stuff like that, and not providing a whole lot going forward either, where at times going forward in the past he's been really good with that final ball into the box and stuff like that. Just didn't seem to get the grips with the game at all today. Fabinho will give a 7-2. Fabinho gradually getting back to the form that he was before. Not quite there yet, but certainly putting in better performances, breaking up the play, winning the ball. That lovely tackle where he went around the side of man, just scooped the ball off him and stuff like that. That's the Fabinho that I like to see, getting stuck in and stuff like that. And that's what he was all night. Really, really good from. Happy to see him returning back to a bit of form and bringing that energy as well. And I wonder, is it the tandem in there with Trent that's there now in midfield? I wonder, is that helping him as well? At times we spoke about Fabinho as well when he has that tandem with Thiago there. And Thiago in midfield to me is very, very like Trent really in terms of the passing and the movement and the vision and stuff like that. So when he's been in there as well with Thiago, they've had quite a good tandem in there as well. And I wonder, is Trent creating that with him now as well? But just brilliant to see Fabinho sort of getting back to more consistent form, which is what we want from our DM. Jordan, I gave some people were giving him a 6. I'm going to give Jordan a 7 tonight. Everyone knows how difficult it is in terms of rating Jordan and stuff like that. You're seeing it when the team is so progressive and positive in their play. He tends to stick out a little bit and look a little bit negative in terms of his back passing and stuff like that. But I think tonight it was a little bit better. Although some of the passing went a little bit astray, but he worked really, really hard tonight, put in a solid shift tonight. And he was looking a number of times to play more forward passing and stuff like that, which is what I want to see. That's what we want to see from our captain. He's not a 6, he's an 8. He needs to play as an 8 and create. That's what we want to see from him. As long as he's doing that, there won't be a problem. But again, long season for the captain and stuff like that, and I could be catching up on him. But needs to be more involved, in games like this against Fulham, where their midfield has kind of grown more into it. Marco made the changes, of course, with the substitutions, which they changed from having a front man and being a bit more conservative. They kind of said, right, with 20 minutes to go at 1-0, we're going to pop on a few players here and we're going to have a go. We need to adjust to that. And Jordan on the pitch needs to see that and needs to react to it. And we seen him having a conversation with Klopp during the game when he was getting treated for the injury. And he was going, he was asking Klopp's advice and stuff like that. Get out there and lay down a marker. You're the captain. You're the guy they look to. You're the leader. So go out there and make it happen. Curtis, I gave a 7 to. I think Curtis is progressing nicely. I think the gaffer's very happy as well. Again, just sometimes in that final third, just lets him down still. There was one tonight, I think, where it was just, he did everything right. And I think it was the kind of the story of the game tonight, and the whole team was, we were pushing. And in the first 2/3, everything was really, really good. The movement was good. The link-up play was good. And when we got into that final third, no one seemed to have a brain on them what to do or pull the trigger or take responsibility or whatever it was. So Henry's in the comments here. When was the last time Virgil was Virgil? Yeah, that's true. I mean, but we could literally say that about the whole squad with the exception of Alisson. And even Alisson has had his moments this season. But yeah, most of the squad has been in that sort of position. But again, Curtis, I really do like his positive play. I love the way that tandem going, firing through the Fulham players to create the press and then doing it in tandem with Jordan taking his turn to do it as well. That was pretty good tonight and worked really, really well. Again, I love his forward positive play, but I just think when he gets into that final third, it's something he needs to work on. He has to be able to pick that moment, pick that pass. Does all that really, really hard work to win the ball, turn, move, run at people, go past people. If you do all that and then there's no end product, it's kind of a waste of time. But a 7 for Curtis tonight, developing nicely. And I think if he can keep on going like this right till the end of the season, I think we probably have to change our minds on him and stuff like that. And I think we have to say, yeah, well, he definitely has a place in the squad. People have been very questionable of him and stuff like that, including myself. But he's starting to show stuff at the moment. Mo, I gave a 7 to. The penalty, of course, just smashes it up the middle again. I think with Mo, there's no more left or right. I think most of Mo's penalties are going to go up the middle now. I think he's learned from the ones he missed. Sloppy in possession tonight, I thought. 7 might be a high right, and you might be able to give him a 6, but he did get the winning goal on the penalty. So, but sloppy in possession, needs to take a bit more care on the ball. Also, when he's in those tight positions, when he's cutting into that byline, needs to look up and see if there's anyone available in the box. Darwin was wide open for that one where he skipped by the players, and then he tried to. It was like the goals he scored, remember, against City and against was it Watford or whatever it was, or Norwich, I think. I'm not too sure, but whoever he scored, remember the 2 goals, they were pretty much the same. He tried that again, but the angle was so tight, nearly impossible. Now, if anyone's going to score from that, Mo Salah's going to score for it. But if Darwin is glaringly open right beside you, you got to play Darwin in. Darwin was frustrated. Luis Diaz tonight. what can we say about Luis Diaz? A lot of energy, getting stuck in again. Looks like he's well over the injury at this side. He's going in for those battles and those tackles now and all, which is really good to see. Give him a 7 tonight. Faded slightly out of the game second half and stuff like that. Maybe he's just trying to get back in there. Maybe, we kind of have to manage him a little bit as well because he's only back. He's been out for a while. He's been out most of the season, so really, really important that we manage him. But give him a 7 tonight. I thought he got stuck in. There was a couple of times where it was just a pass let down. I mean, we seen the frustration of tonight. It was just that final pass and that final moment and that final third of the pitch was just that little bit shy each time. And a couple of times he got frustrated where he was nearly played in, But that will come on another night. He could have got 2 or 3, if the passing was better. That's the way it is. Darwin, I don't know. I mean, he did well to win the penalty, in fairness. Give him a 6 tonight. Still think he looks a little bit out of place. Definitely can't play in the 9, in the Bobby role. Certainly not the way Cody does anyway. So again, the situation with Darwin is, what way are you going to play him? And at times tonight, as we call him Captain Chaos and stuff like that, we love him for it and stuff like that. But the problem for Darwin is sometimes he's as chaotic on himself as he is on the opponent. He's really, really clumsy in the tackling. You see him going in for tackles and he kind of loses his balance. His body shape is all over the place. Like you see Fabinho going in for a similar tackle and he stays upright. He's able to move around those corners to win the ball and put the aggression in there, but also put the opponent under pressure. With Darwin, like, you can just pull the foul off him every time. It's so easy, really, and it's just his body shape just be all over the place. He kind of looks real awkward going in, nearly to the point where you think if he hit the deck, it'd be nearly like an injury, that kind of way. So yeah, kind of an interesting one for Darwin tonight. Didn't kind of really get in there as much as could. But again, a lot of balls coming into him in the box and stuff like that. As I said, Salah earlier didn't find him, didn't look for him. And then a number of balls came in, were just going over his head and stuff like that. Just our final ball all night was really, really poor. Substitutions. Cody came on for Diaz on 65. Gave Cody a 7. Slot straight into the game. He's in the 9 role, pushes Darwin out. Picks up the ball, runs at midfields, runs at defences and all. Either goes by them to pick a pass or else will draw the foul, which is what you want that player doing constantly, The only thing I would say about Cody, as I've said in other shows as well, kid, be a bit more greedy. Take it on and have a go. A couple of times centre of the box, centre of the 18-yard box, just outside it. Picks up the ball, the game opens up for him. Dying to play a shot in there. Doesn't play the shot, takes the pass and stuff like that. I think tonight we were kind of guilty of overpassing as well at times when our progressive play just required that bit more and we could get shots off and it might yield more goals. Robbo came on for Costas on 65, gave him a 6. Looked eager to prove a point, especially after the previous game, but didn't necessarily do a huge amount really, so not a whole lot. Harvey came on for Nunes on 83. Not going to rate him for 7 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever he got, but did come on, showed a few things that we could see there. I thought Harvey would have been really suitable to start this game because of his technical ability and the way he plays and stuff like that, the trickery that he has there, and you showed it in that last 10 minutes. He could have been a player that could have done bits for us. Henry's in the comments. Consistency is needed right to the end, and then let's see what happens. Yeah, absolutely, Henry. That's the way it should be. And how long is Jota out for? I don't know. I didn't see it. Jota came on for Salah 83 minutes. Not really noticeable, but did nothing wrong. Didn't do a whole lot of anything really. And then Milner on 83 for Jones. Really just same as Jota. Just came in to shut things down really. But that's really it. That's your player ratings, folks, and your match reaction. Big win for the Reds, 1-0. Nice to get a clean sheet. Alisson, of course, doing bits. Trent still doing bits. Curtis progressing. All good at the moment. All positive. Keep on pushing towards this top 4 race. Let's make United earn it if they're going to get it. And let's see what happens. But yeah, big game coming up against Brentford at 5:30. I'm back tomorrow night with Thursday Tier Talk with Darren. So we'll be doing a preview of the Premier League. We'll be talking lots of stuff tomorrow night. Talking Chelsea. Going to be talking Allardyce at Leeds. We're going to be talking Klopp being charged by the FA. Lots of really, really good stuff in that show tomorrow night. Plus our tips and picks and beat the bookie and all the usual good stuff. Then Friday, I'll probably be on for a Brentford preview. So happy enough for you to join me for that as well, if you could. As always, if you could subscribe to the channel, we're close to 700 subs now. Share the channel out and get people to sub to it so we can get over the 700 on the road to the 1,000. Like on the video, hit the bell notification. We're generally live for most of the shows, with the odd preview being recorded because I just haven't got the time to do them live. But until next time, folks, another 3 points for the Reds, 5 on the bounce, 4 points the gap. Need Brighton tomorrow night now to do us a favour. Until next time, Reds, you'll never walk alone.